Hello everyone, many of you already know me. My name is Alex Moraras and I make videos about the cultural wealth of Spain. In this video, I would like to show you 3 of the most spectacular places that you can visit less than an hour away from Madrid. As many of you already guessed, these 3 places are Toledo, Segovia and Avila. If you come to Madrid, you must definitely visit these 3 towns, so be sure to make room for this in your visit when you come to Spain. Let's begin. Segovia is probably one of the most beautiful cities in Spain. It is located in the center of Spain, in the province of Castilla y León and about an hour drive north of Madrid. It is a small city of about 50,000 inhabitants, but its historical and cultural values are immeasurable. The number one thing to visit in Segovia is the aqueduct. The aqueduct dates back to the 2nd century and was constructed by the Roman Empire in a city still without walls. There are 3 great sections. The first section is outside Segovia, where the water is captured and sent downwards towards the city. The second section is the urban one, and the one we can see and admire, reaching the height of about 28 meters. And from here, the last section is the intramural route, a sophisticated distribution system through manholes, which in turn were subdivided into smaller branches that supplied fountains and private homes. Walking from the aqueduct towards the cathedral, we find the Church of Saint Martin. It is a temple of Mozarabic origin with Romanesque style, constructed in the 12th century. The notable things of the temple are the bell tower, which is in a Romanesque Mudejar style, its porticoed gallery. The doorway of the western facade is one of the largest Romanesque doorways in Spain. The next stop is the Plaza Mayor, and it is a typical Spanish great square with a theater, the city hall, and many restaurants with terraces where you can enjoy the typical Spanish food from this part of Spain, like the roasted pig or lamb. All this while observing in awe and majesty the Cathedral of Segovia. Constructed between the 16th and the 18th century, the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption and Saint Frutos, it is one of the latest Gothic cathedrals in Spain and the entire Europe. At that time, the prevailing architecture in Europe was already Renaissance. That is why in the Cathedral of Segovia we can discern a predominantly Gothic style but already framed with some Renaissance features. Its beauty and elegance, as well as its visual strength and dimensions, make possible its name as the Lady of Cathedrals. Each of the different stones that make up the cathedral reveal centuries and centuries of great history, the same history that prevails throughout the city, chosen as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1985. Walking down the street from the cathedral, we get to the Alcázar, or the Fortress of Segovia, also known as the Palace of the Kings of Castilla. Its image has gone around the world. It's a unique castle with the appearance of a fairy tale palace, known to be the inspiration of various Disney castles in movies like Cinderella or Snow White. Austere, as the Castilian kings were, elevated on the rock at the confluence of 2 valleys, it seems as it is guarding the city. Constructed in the 12th century, it is one of the most famous medieval castles in the world and one of the most visited monuments in Spain, declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. A World Heritage City, Toledo is considered the city of the 3 cultures. Within its walls, Muslims, Jews, and Christians lived together for centuries with their own customs and in relative peace. This fact is evidenced by the different architectures that this city presents. In the year 193, this ancient city, dating back to the Bronze Age, was conquered by the Roman Empire, reconstructing it and renaming it Toletum. One of the entrances of the city is through the gate called Puerta de Bisagra. It is a monumental gate located in the wall, and it is the only northern entrance of the city. There is some debate regarding the origins and antiquity of this door, which could be from the Arab or Mudejar period, since archaeological remains have been found and there has been use of it since ancient times. Next to the gate of Bisagra lies the church of Santiago el Mayor, in the northern area of the historic center of the city. It was built in the second half of the 13th century. It is one of the clearest examples of the Toledo Mudejar style building due to its large dimensions and pure lines, built in brick and tap masonry. Walking up into the city, we find the Plaza de Zocodover. This square was constructed in the Roman period, but its name, Zocodover, originates from the Arabic language, which means beast market. One of the landmarks that stand out over the Toledo skyline is its fortress, or Alcázar. The Royal Alcázar of Toledo is a military fortress situated in one of the highest parts of the city. Its privileged location has made it a place of great strategic value. Its construction began in the 3rd century as a Roman palace, followed by the Visigothic era when King Leovigild established his capital there. In the era of Muslim domination, it was used as a fortress, and after the reconquest of the Iberian Peninsula, it was restored under the reign of Charles I and his son Philip II in the 1540s. Walking from the Alcázar to the center of the city, we find the Cathedral of Toledo. The Cathedral of Toledo is the most clearly Spanish example of Gothic architecture, which here undergoes an adaptation to the classical environment. It is the first in Spain and one of the few in the world in terms of beauty and perfection. This enormous building, constructed between 1226 and 1493, is an emblem of the French Gothic era in Spain. The Cathedral of Toledo is one of the Castilian buildings that has preserved most of its medieval stained glass windows. Another place to visit in Toledo is the monastery of San Juan de los Reyes. The general layout of this construction is the work of Juan Guas. It has been stated that San Juan de los Reyes is the first monument in Toledo that does not adopt the slightest sign of Arab or Mudejar art. The crossover between Gothic Flemish art with that of Islamic and medieval tradition in Spain makes San Juan de los Reyes a very peculiar monument. Because of Spain's long, rich history and its wide cultural heritage, almost every city or village has something amazing to offer tourists. One of these amazing places is the fortified city of Avila. Situated about an hour drive from Madrid, it is one of the most beautiful towns of the center of Spain. This ancient city dates back to the beginnings of the Bronze Age, and its hallmark and our number one thing to see on our list, it is the stone wall that encloses the city and that has been completely preserved. The wall is a continuous structure made of huge blocks of stone, with a perimeter of about 2,500 meters, and it has 2,500 battlements, 87 turrets, and 9 gates, with a height of about 12 meters and a width of about 3 meters. The construction of the wall, as we know it today, dates back to the 12th century, though the city always had a wall around it, which was repeatedly destroyed and rebuilt since ancient times. If this wall can boast of anything, it is that it is the best preserved urban walled area in the world. Currently, 1,700 meters of the wall can be visited by walking along the upper walkway, with 3 entrances and the 4th suitable for people with reduced mobility. Number 2. The Cathedral of Avila. Named the Cathedral of Christ the Savior, it was designed as a temple and a fortress, with its apse being one of the cubes of the city wall. It is considered the first Gothic cathedral of Spain, and its construction began in the 12th century and it took nearly 300 years to complete. The first part of the cathedral to be built is the part that it is embedded in the wall and looking like a part of it, which transmits to the whole complex its marked character of a fortress and gives it the nickname Fortior Abulensis. The last phase of the works belongs to the zenith of the Gothic period, from the end of the 13th century to the middle of the 14th century. The cathedral mixes different styles. The exterior is based on a sober and fortified design, while the interior merges Gothic lightness with touches of Renaissance beauty. Number 3. The Humiliation of the Four Posts. It is a religious monument located outside the city of Avila. It is made up of 4 Doric columns about 5 meters high. In the center of the square formed by the columns stands a granite cross on a pedestal. In addition to being a monument, it serves as a viewpoint of the city in an experience that will be difficult to forget. Number 4. St. Peter's Church. Located in the large market square or Plaza del Mercado Grande and facing one of the gates of the wall called the Gate of Alcázar, the St. Peter's Church was constructed between the 12th and the 13th century, and it can be observed an interesting evolution in architecture and decoration due to the lengthy construction. The main things that stand out in its interior among many works of art are the tablets distributed along the walls of the naves, the Renaissance altars, the altarpiece of the main chapel and its bars, and the carvings of Saint Catherine and Saint Paul. Number 5. The Saint Vincent Basilica. The St. Vincent Basilica is located outside the city's wall and in front of the gate that bears the same name. It is a Romanesque temple and the largest and most important in the city after the cathedral, and one of the most outstanding works of this architectural style in the entire country. The authorship of the building is attributed to the French architect Guiraud Fruckel, introducer of the Gothic style in Spain, and to whom the layout of the cathedral is also attributed. So these are the 3 places to visit around Madrid. My name is Alex Moraras. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, share, and definitely subscribe to find out more amazing places to visit before you come to Spain.